Ladies and germs, we're on the air. This is Perfect Madness Wrestling. With me I have, or I'm Jesus, and with me I have Adam Eaton. Say hi, Adam.
Hello, jobbers.
There we go. You should already know us by now. We're not going to take time other than that. Today we're going to talk about Kevin Owens, TNA, and some random thoughts along the way. What would you prefer to start with?
You know what? Let's go ahead. You want to start with Piper?
Sure. Let's random thoughts on the way. We're going to start with Piper. What's up?
So,
What do you want to say about him?
what I want to say is, let's see. Last week we did my Savior Saves IWC, and we were promoting this podcast that we're doing today last week, and some stuff happened, but we were supposed to do it on Friday, and then the news of Piper came, and for both of us, if you haven't read my articles on him, go do that. And for both me and Jesus, it was a really tough time, and I'm still dealing with it. I would assume you are too.
Yeah,
And, I just want to apologize for the lack of activity since then, because it's been tough on both of us.
If anybody who follows me on Facebook knows how choked up I got during the Monday Night Raw tribute video, I scored a few here and there because it's fucking Piper.
Yeah.
We're slowly bouncing back right now. I don't really want to talk much about it currently. It sucks that he's gone. I mean, I still haven't watched the Dusty Rhodes tribute yet on the network, just because he is one of my favorite wrestlers I met. I know my friend Matt. I don't think we actually talked about it, but how much fun it was when we met him and we talked about Cody's mustache and just how Dusty lit up afterwards and just talked our ear off about it. I had a chance to meet Rowdy live in person live, and just on the road here for it was Rowdy Piper Appreciation Day, and it was a great show. And yeah,
I just
I do
like,
apologize
if you're
for
wondering,
taking so long.
wondering where that activity is, it's because we're dealing with this. If you can't see Piper within our personalities, then you're watching us wrong.
I don't think you truly understood Piper.
Right. And so go read those articles if you haven't. You'll understand more, and hopefully going forward we can get more active here.
Do you want me to make a really terrible transition?
If you want.
Or a very terrible segue? From being buried to being buried. Kevin Owens.
Wow.
Wow.
Went there.
And again, you know he'd be laughing his ass off at that. I miss Rowdy. Ah! Okay. Kevin Owens. Everybody online is talking about how he's lost to Cena in the rubber match. Is now leaving him buried into the mid card. And this is something you've been talking my ear off about.
Yes, because it pisses me off. Like, it really pisses me off. And the thing is, I have nothing against Kevin Owens. Jesus knows this because I just bought the Kevin Owens shirt the other day at Hot Topic. Made him jealous. And Kevin Owens is entertaining. I have nothing against him personally. But what I don't like about him is his fans. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's weird with me. The fans form my opinion on a lot of things because I usually tend to go opposite of what everyone else is. And that's how I've always been. But to say he got pushed down to the mid card is ridiculous because I've said this on previous podcasts. The U.S. title is mid card by nature.
Yeah.
I don't like, he lost a title match and he has a feud going forward. But as soon as he loses, before even watching Raw, before even giving it 2 weeks, the IWC is jumping like, oh, he got buried. It's like, no, he didn't get buried. Now he's moving on to something else. He can't feud with Cena his entire career. Like,
yeah,
that had to end at some point.
I mean, anybody who would say like, well, the U.S. title isn't the mid card. You make the argument that Chris Jericho was the biggest mid carder in WWE history for having the most record wins of the Intercontinental title. His two biggest accomplishments were beating both The Rock and Stone Cold and holding the record for Intercontinental title wins.
Yeah, IWC logic is crazy, and it pisses me off. And every time I see something about KO, I'm just like, shut up already. And
It was only going to be relegated to the mid card if WWE has nothing for him, and I don't know what they're doing with him right now.
he's feuding with Cesaro right now. It's gonna be a really good match at SummerSlam. It's not. I don't know if it's officially announced, but you have to look at it this way. The WWE is putting a lot of faith into Kevin Owens because he was feuding with John Cena, the face of the company, while he was NXT champion. So he still was carrying NXT and in a semi-main event top mid-card slot on the main roster. Now, going into SummerSlam, he has a decent feud with Cesaro that everyone is getting behind Cesaro right now, so he's hot. Kevin Owens is hot. And the night before SummerSlam, Kevin Owens is facing Finn Balor for the NXT title in a ladder match.
Ooh.
Like, they're putting him on two shows, I'm going to assume, because the Cesaro match isn't announced. But still, like, to still feature him prominently on Raw and NXT shows that they have faith in this guy.
I agree. That's actually kind of dangerous.
Here's the thing.
About it.
I'm going to change subjects really quick. Triple H always said that it's not the title that makes a man, it's the man that makes the title. And for people to say that the U.S. title right now is main event, it's only because John Cena has made it main event.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just want to throw that out there for all you Cena haters. You can't say Kevin Owens got de-pushed or buried from the main event because the only reason the U.S. title is main event is because John Cena, the main event, has it.
The whole argument is fundamentally flawed in the fact that you don't understand how prestige of titles are lost, gained and lost. There's a reason why the Intercontinental title has been seemingly irrelevant for the last couple of years. Because then every time they get somewhere, the biggest person with the belt in the last few years that I can think of that actually did something with it was Cody Rhodes. Like actually had a
couple
decent
years
run.
ago.
Yeah, that had a
when he brought back the white strap.
Yeah, he was the only person that actually did something with the belt, and now they keep making jokes about the Intercontinental title curse or whatever the word is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Cody Rhodes had it before the curse, so.
Yeah. But regardless, it's because nobody with that title have been able to do anything. The title doesn't instantly make you a star. The title didn't make Mr. Perfect instantly amazing. It's what he did with that title. It's his career once he got it. It's Macho
Right.
Man in his epic run with it. That
Exactly.
The Intercontinental title was main event when Warrior and Hogan fought for it. But now look at it. Look at it mid-90s. It was nothing.
It really was nothing mid-90s. Because I'm watching the Raws right now. I'm up to 95, just past SummerSlam. Actually, I'm on the In Your House that happened in September, and Double J was the champion for a while, and then Michaels had it, but it was still a forgotten belt at that time. If you're watching
the
Raw,
whole argument was what WrestleMania was it? Was it 5 or 6? WrestleMania Hogan and Warrior.
I think it was 6. I know it wasn't 5. 5 was the Megan Powers.
Okay, so it had to be 6. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a reason why then for a few years it was then seemingly irrelevant until WrestleMania 10. Like it ebbs and flows. Everything does. It's wrestling. But I mean, the title can't always stay where it is because it depends
But
on who's holding it.
even WrestleMania 10, it was kind of like the only reason was because Michaels got injured and then he came back and he never lost the title.
Yeah, I know.
But otherwise, like Ramon there.
The
But even
storyline.
after that, it kind of fell. It kind of fell.
I agree. So, um, and like that's the whole point. It doesn't matter. Like the title can make you a star, but it doesn't solidify you as that. You have to then concrete. I don't think that's the right word. I lost where I was going with that now.
It's like the title brings attention to you, but
Yeah,
you have to keep the attention on you.
I agree, and it was WrestleMania 6. Um,
Yeah, I always get confused with that 6 or 7.
it is what it is. But I mean, you have to. It gives you that shot in the arm, and what you do with it determines how that title is going to be, the prestige of that title, and how you're going to be remembered with it. I think that's a
Right?
fundamental
Like
difference that people are forgetting.
uh, Chris Jericho's runs, I don't even remember like really any of them,
Yeah,
except for I know that he held it 9 times, and when I think IC Sato, he's one of the top names I think of.
and really, the biggest time I can remember him having it was with China.
Yeah, that was pretty much the thing.
Like the most memorable time with it, even though I mean he's still a great athlete and he's won it times afterwards. It's just people don't know what they're talking about.
It's
And
just he didn't need it really. Jericho is Jericho, and
yeah, and Owens doesn't need it. Owens doesn't need a title belt right
he,
now. He just needs some direction. And I think they're finding that because if they do what, if they're continuing the trends that they're going with, Cesaro and Owens are going to continue to be elevated. And that's how you build future stars.
exactly. And I seen an interview. Someone else said, I forget who said it, but if Owens was to beat John Cena for the U.S. title, then what? Basically,
Yeah,
like your same argument for when Sting lost at WrestleMania. Then what? Where does Owens go from there? The only way he can go from there really is down because it's not time to give him the world heavyweight title. It's too early.
I agree.
And it's the top of the card is kind of stacked right now. You have
It's,
rotating challengers between Reigns, Lesnar, and Ambrose. You know, they
well,
were rotating over the summer.
let me
Now
put it
John
to you
Cena
this
is up
way.
there.
The same people that were crying that Romans was going to get a title way too soon are the same people crying for Owens to get that a different title. If you strap a person too soon, nobody's going to get behind him.
Right. And in this way, Owens he's building a fan base. Now people want to see him succeed more. So it's just like now he could build up more. Now he has something to work for. Now he's an angry guy that's like, I need the title. Now I'm gonna do what I need to get back to that spot. If
And
he just won the title, it's like,
that's the thing that Roman Reigns is missing right now. He never had that big loss up until WrestleMania when it was stolen away from him. And then
and then they
WWE
didn't
got cold on
capitalize
him
on it.
right away. Like you finally got that babyface momentum for him because he got screwed over and they do nothing with it. What is
Yeah,
he?
Reigns. I never hated Reigns. I was never anti Reigns. He was
Yeah,
just boring to me. There was no connection there. But WrestleMania, there was that connection there. I finally felt it. He put on a great performance with Lesnar. He got screwed over, and I'm like, oh crap, where is this going to go now?
I
And
agree.
it didn't go anywhere.
And that's what I people kept calling me crazy for. Like, well, he's not going to get it. What he would be a terrible champion right now because nobody has a connection to him other than, oh my God, he's gorgeous. And he hasn't earned that spot yet in the eyes of fans. He hasn't had that white hot baby meat. Well, white hot, I guess that works. White baby meat hot streak going for him because he's never had it
And he
screwed.
could have had it.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I cut you off.
I just think that people, again, aren't understanding the business, purely want to fulfill their id and not think about the long-term ramifications or understand the business at all.
The problem with the IWC is they want the WWE to be indie.
I agree.
That's the way I see it, and it's not. It's so much more than that, and I don't want to get into an indie bashing right now, but it's just like there's two different things when it comes to wrestling. There's indie, and then there's WWE Sports Entertainment. And that's the thing. You have to understand that WWE is sports entertainment. It's not wrestling. Like, I know that pisses people off, but it is what it is. And the WWE doesn't book their stuff like indie, like let's be ROH and just put on a great show and who's ever the best wrestler will get the title. It's not about that. It's about the connection with the fans. It's why 3 million viewers tune in each week to watch Raw, and ROH doesn't even get a million.
Or TNA.
Right. Who? What?
Which I'll be doing later, hopefully either today or the next couple days. I'll be doing a indie show on here, and it's hopefully will culminate to us arguing about why you're wrong on independent wrestling. But that's
Why
not
I'm wrong? It's not that I'm wrong on indie wrestling. It's just indie wrestling is wrong.
I mean, no, you're wrong, and I'll be more than happy to show you why. Tell you why.
Tell me why the indie wrestling is wrong?
Why you're wrong on indie wrestling. Independent wrestling's the future, sir. It always has been.
The future of what? It's the future of NXT when NXT becomes it's another 80s. It's the 80s all over. NXT is just going to wipe indie promotions off one by one, like Vince did. It's Triple H's turn now.
I completely disagree, but that's not the time to get into this argument.
It probably won't happen. I'm just joking. But yeah, we can have that argument.
I'm more than happy to tell you why Milwaukee to Chicago, our area, my area, the greatest place for independent wrestling. And try to prove me wrong.
One place.
I'm awesome and you're not. Suck dick. Okay, sorry. I got unleashed there. Don't talk bad about indie wrestling. Because who grew up on the indie scene? Our beloved Kevin Owens. Boom.
Not my beloved.
Oh, you love him.
You know who?
You just bought his shirt.
I like him. You know who I love? You know who I love? John Cena.
And he was in the indie
who didn't
scene for a while, I think. Actually, no, he's a bodybuilder.
Kind of, yeah.
He did like a week.
Yeah. He's so good. He went straight to OVW.
No, I know he was in the areas here at least once.
I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
At least Chicago.
He was never an indie darling, so I don't think it counts.
He can't wrestle.
He can wrestle. He can wrestle better than Kevin Owens. That's why he beat him.
Oh,
Mark argument.
Completely disagree. I will say one thing about Kevin Owens that I really do not enjoy. Although I'm sure he's fit as hell and is better shape than both of us combined, I don't like the gut. I don't understand how that people can sit there and say Samoa Joe is out of shape and he needs to get fit, and then Kevin Owens is out there with a gut. But it fits his character, and I think that's that people don't understand.
I guess he lost weight.
Okay.
So he still even lost weight, and he still has that gut. So it's like, damn, how much did he weigh before? And not saying that there's not a place for big men, because there's been a great place for big men like Vader, Mabel, or Viscera, whatever you want to call them. And there's been a lot of great big men, Rikishi, Yokozuna, but I don't know. It's just something weird, something different about Kevin Owens. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess it's whatever. Like, he goes out there and performs, so it's just...
I don't necessarily think it's a flaw or a bad part of his character, but something that just doesn't feel right. I guess, if that makes any sense. I'm still, like, I'm not going to call him a fat ass and say he needs to lose weight if he wants to be in the WWE, but I also think, like, maybe he should consider it, but I don't really know, because it still works. He looks like a giant teddy bear. So...
Maybe the difference between all the people I just named, they didn't wear, like, a regular T-shirt. Like, Kevin Owens just wears a T-shirt, so it just kind of, like, hangs there and looks like... It just looks weird, like some dude every day walking down the street or whatever. Like, Vader wore the singlet, or the singlet. Yokozuna was a sumo wrestler, Rikishi wore the thong. Like they didn't have the T-shirt just hanging over him. It was either shown or it was like wrapped up in the singlet. Mabel wore the freaking big ass like bodysuit pajama things.
Yeah.
Like so everything was either kind
Um,
of covered or kind of like put in. It wasn't just hanging like a T-shirt hanging. So
okay.
that could be the difference too, in what he wears if he changed it up a little bit. But
Yeah. Either way, that's not the topic. I just
yeah,
think like Owens has a bright future provided WWE has a direction for them. You know, so many people are getting cast aside in a sea of 3 hour Raws and instant or just segment after segment, content piece after content. And it's just kind of like, don't get lost in the shuffle. Do something to keep your name out there. And I
and
think,
that's the thing about Owens is as much as I like him, I don't see anything that's like that he really does sets him apart from everyone else.
oh, not.
Um, I mean, the character is just really him, and I think it's just because he's so new. Maybe he just needs to be built up a little bit more. But
Mhm.
it's like the difference between him and Cesaro is really what.
I mean, think about it though. They both came from the same school of wrestling in the sense of, or main popular, more mainstream wrestling in ROH. They wrestled there for years. So they have a style that's very similar in philosophy, or philosophy that's
Yeah,
very similar in style.
I understand all that, and I'm actually excited for this feud. I think Cesaro versus Kevin Owens is going to be what both of these guys need to take off. But it's
Hmm.
just like really what sets them apart from like other great wrestlers.
I think one of the reasons I enjoy them, it's the closest that we've been to a pseudo attitude era esque, where they're just people. They have attitudes and they want to fight. They want to wrestle. Owens and Cesaro, they don't really have any fancy gimmicks. They just want to go show who's the bigger badass.
And that's a discussion we had the other day actually about Cesaro, and we were talking about all his failed gimmicks. But when you just have him be Cesaro, he's actually really entertaining. And because I watched that Michael Cole interview he had a couple weeks ago, and it was really entertaining. It was 5 minutes, and at the end of the 5 minutes, I was wanting more. I wanted to hear more from Cesaro. When I watch him on Raw, I'm like, can you shut up, please? Like, I don't care. Bring someone out that I care about. And so I was thinking, if you just let Cesaro be Cesaro and go out there and just be like, I'm the best, I'm gonna wrestle, and almost like a Bret Hart of this era, then I think it would get over. People will connect with that.
And I think that's something Vince is way off target on. He believes matches need to be short because people have short attention spans. And it's like, no, you want somebody to get over like a Kevin Owens or a Cesaro. You let them go out there and you put on a good match. I mean, Adrian Neville and Rollins on Monday put on a really good match. I would easily say a 4-star match with everything that they were able to fit in. It was a longer match, a story was told, and I kind of want to watch it again because that was quality.
The thing about like mid card, um, middle of the card, any match anywhere on the card except for the main event, I feel is always more exciting because we're not looking at the time. We have no idea when it's going to end.
I agree.
So you could have a long match, and we're still at the edge of our seats. Like, when is this going to end? When is this going to end?
Yeah.
And so a finishing move is hit, and you're like, oh, that could be it. But then it's not. They kick out. It's like, oh crap. But in a main event, we're watching the time, and it's like, okay, it's depending on where you are, and like the East Coast, it's 10:45. So the next finisher is going to end this pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of creates this awkward, like, double dutch, if you will, of is this going to be the end? No. Like, come on, what is this now the good time to do this? Nope. Okay, maybe I should back up a second. Anybody who jump ropes understands this reference and, like, spot on, Jesus. If you don't jump rope, I just feel bad for you.
Yeah, most main events, I don't even watch a main event. I watch the time because I'm like, none of this even matters until about the 15 minutes before the hour.
And it
At
just
that
kind of
time, that's when I started
solidifies
watching.
my point of you never judge a show by the main event. The main event's always supposed to be good. I will harp on this until I'm red in the face to everybody. You never judge a show by the main event unless it sucks.
And I agree with that, and I've never really thought about it that way until you like brought it up on previous podcasts. And
Hmm.
when I look back at all my favorite wrestlers, a lot of them were mid card guys. Like
Yeah.
when in the Attitude Era, like I loved Billy Gunn.
Yes.
I don't know why. I just like Billy Gunn. Chris Jericho's always been one of my favorites. Bret Hart, he's about the only main event really, but watching back, he wasn't even main event that much. He held the title in like 93, 94 a little bit, and then from like 95, he didn't really have the title. And most of 94, he didn't have the title either. Or no, at the end of 94, he lost it. So it's like most of 95, he didn't even have it. So he really wasn't even main event that much until his feud with Michaels took off in 96.
Who? Bret Hart?
Bret Hart.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, 96. And I think that's the important thing that, and Bret really wasn't, he was just kind of in the right time. I don't think Bret would have ever reached the same stardom if he broke in today versus, the late 90s or early 90s, late 80s, early 90s type thing. Because he's a talented wrestler, don't get me wrong, but I think he just was one of those people at the right time. I mean, Austin would be interesting to see in this day and age, but back then it was the right time and place, and he ran wild.
There's a lot of wrestlers, I mean, we can make that argument with. Like, would someone like the Macho Man even get over today? Like with
Oh,
that
absolutely.
cartoonish, outlandish? Because
Absolutely.
most people now though they want the real like I just want like Kevin Owens versus Cesaro in a match.
He's
Like
the
and
cream
to me
of the crop.
but to me I'm like I want like the Undertaker versus Kane in a mystical feud where they're burning each other alive and coming out of the darkness and all that. Like I'm seeing on Lucha Underground.
Yeah, but
Like
see,
that's the
that's my
kind of stuff
argument.
I want.
It's Undertaker should
Well,
never have worked. Kane should never have worked. Those concepts are ridiculous. Macho Man should never have worked. But because people don't want, like, I'm going to totally sound contradictory until I find the way to fully verbalize my position, but people don't want just wrestling. People want to be entertained. And I think, as much as I hate the idea of sports entertainment, the fact is people want to be entertained. They want that soap opera. They want those larger than life characters. Macho Man will always work and still resonates today with younger people because he was flashy and crazy. He was a perfect formula of wrestling and high flying with flashy outfits. I mean, the only person, and dare I say this, that comes close to how Macho Man used to be up until Jay Lethal is now Sandow. Like, he's just this really random character that you can tell likes to have fun. And if they ever give something to him and just let him go full bore, I think could be something. But every time somebody gets momentum, they cut him off at the knees and then go, well, why can't you get over? I think Mr. Perfect might have a little bit harder of a time passing now. I think Warrior would have a hard time passing now just because Warrior is so similar to Cena in the sense
I
of,
think Warrior would have a hard time passing because of in-ring ability.
yeah,
As much as I love the Warrior, people would crap on him like they still do because of in-ring ability and he wouldn't get over. Mr. Perfect would have a huge following, at least on the internet. He would be
yeah.
like Cesaro, Kevin Owens,
I try not to include the internet,
Ziggler,
like the hard
the
right of the
internet.
internet. That
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
Mr.
know if
Perfect, he always put on 5-star matches. He was an entertaining character. He was a great heel. But is that really what people want in today's wrestling world? I mean, people want to be like, oh yeah,
and
we
that's the
want great
thing.
heels, and then sit there and bitch about CM Punk's run. I'm like, Mr. 434 was a brilliant heel. Him and Heyman, the way they had fun out in that ring, was what a heel should have been. You know what I'm gonna do? Can't let your phone ring on the podcast.
Sorry, I'm an important person.
Okay. Now I lost where I was going. I don't know. I think one of the reasons Macho Man really got over is because he's too hot to handle and too cold to hold.
It's just my thing is we're in this reality era, but there's not any reality going on, honestly. And I feel like the WWE is stuck because they honestly don't know if they want to be wrestling or sports entertainment right now. And
Yeah,
I wish they would just choose. I wish that they would be like, okay, well, we are sports entertainment, so we're going to have this character, and this character. Like they have Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt could be, like people said, kind of like the next Undertaker. He'll never get to that level, but the character is there. But they don't do as much with him as they did with the Undertaker.
I agree. They invested a lot of time into Taker. They threw terrible gimmick after terrible gimmick at the Undertaker and just let him go with it and try to see what stuck. Nowadays in WWE, they'll just throw some kind of terrible gimmick out there. Oh, that didn't work. Let's abandon it. No, let's tweak it and try to find a way to make it work and then just keep going with it. Like they're not shy about forcing John Cena or some other terrible person down our throat. Yet when there's somebody that could be something, they shy away from it. No, just commit.
The thing that gets me is they don't let things build anymore. Like,
Yeah.
so you throw Bray Wyatt out there 1 week, and he doesn't get a reaction, and then we don't see him for 3 more weeks. Like, oh, he didn't get a good reaction. He didn't get over, 3 weeks ago. So they're back to the drawing board. It's like we don't know how to react to him right now. Like,
Why would we try to get behind somebody that we don't see week in and out? There's no consistency from the WWE, so why should there be consistency as a fan? Bray Wyatt is they're keeping him from being a must-see superstar and keeping him as like oh yeah, there's that guy. He's on Raw this week. I really enjoy him. Okay, well I wonder when I'll see him next. There's no reason for fans to demand that they see him if they're going to keep getting hot and cold on him.
exactly. And the thing is, the writing just is horrible because this Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt feud is actually kind of interesting. Like at first, going into Battleground, it was kind of like, what's the point? But after the Battleground match and now, it's really kind of interesting. And I want to see more, but the WWE isn't making it must see. They're like, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper cut a promo in the ring.
Did we lose you? I think we lost Mr. Eaton. Bye, buddy. And I think that's one of the things that really people don't understand. Yeah, we just lost him. Might have to wrap this sucker up early and we'll hold. Oh, no. Are you back? I don't know if he's back. Fuck it. We might wrap it up early. We'll see. Technical difficulties. I don't know where we were. Something about characters. Oh, nope. You're back, Adam. And we can't hear you. Fuck it. We got dead air. Something like characters, though, we don't get anymore, and that's essentially what we all want to see. Oh, I might have heard something. Bray Wyatt has a character, and you can see that everybody in the arena, while they might not be over with his character, are over with the whole putting their cell phone on and being part of the ambiance of it and just enjoying themselves in there. People want to enjoy themselves at a show. They don't want to see Stinkfest after Stinkfest, Reading the death of WCW currently and how, Hogan politics his way into manipulating the main event and just putting on stinker after stinker. Nobody wants that. They just want these characters that are going to get fun and get behind. There's a reason Goldberg got over with limited ring ability because fans still enjoyed themselves when they were there.
And you bring
Hey,
up
you're back.
WCW. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was weird. It just kicked me off and then just went right back on.
I noticed.
The thing with WC or what I'm seeing now is a lot of mistakes WCW made. I'm seeing like every organization but Lucha make the same mistake.
Lucha's still young.
Lucha is amazing, and we don't need to get into Lucha right now.
Lucha's still young, though. They have plenty of time to make mistakes. I think the one thing that they have going for them is to knowing where those mistakes lead.
I think them taking a break, because they take one, they their last filming was in April, so they haven't done anything since then, and then their last airing was last night. So they're in this little window, and it's like they have time to film and see what's working, and then they take a break and they're like, okay, well, this is where we're going to go from here. And then they go and they do it. And now they've been off since April, so I could just imagine how much they're putting into each week. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
They're not like, okay, here's Raw. Now Tuesday we have to write, Wednesday we have to write, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get to Monday, and Vince says, no, I don't like any of it. Which baffles me, because that's one of the reasons WCW went out of business. So why would you do that?
What's the point of being methodical and meticulous and writing quality storylines if someone's just going to blow it up 5 minutes before air?
Right. I mean, I would love to be a writer, but like my thing, I would be like, I'm not going to write until Monday. Yeah. I would just like, I'm not going to write anything until Monday.
There's no incentive for you to do your job if you're just going to get it all thrown away anyways.
If he's going to change everything anyways, then I would be like, I'm not going to write until Monday. And if you don't like it, then like come to me, like we'll get in a meeting and you be at the meetings and you do this. Like, don't change it on Monday. And I don't understand why no one has, and if they have, they've probably been fired, but why is Triple H or Stephanie not standing up and saying something? Like, why are the board of directors not voting them out? Do they not have that power? I thought that's what a board of directors does.
They do, but who is going to get rid of the greatest promoter on earth? Say what you will about Vince, he's one of the best promoters.
Paul Heyman isn't head of WWE Creative though, so they wouldn't be getting rid of the greatest promoter.
Vince McMahon could sell water to a fish, and I think that's something
just
that's
not Cesaro.
What?
He just can't sell Cesaro.
Oh, I heard something else that was way more submission sorority-esque. We'll just put it that way.
Wow.
I lost where I was going with that.
Selling water to a fish. Vince could sell water to a fish.
Yeah, he's such a great promoter that they're not going to get rid of him. Like, there's been reports saying that once Vince dies, it's going to be detrimental to the company.
I don't think so.
For anybody who's played Fallout or watched Futurama, they're just going to cut his head off and stick it into a jar and just keep it animated because Vince is brilliant. Yeah. I realized that Futurama was a way better cultural reference. And didn't he just get his billionaire status back? I mean, there's a reason he makes so much money.
There is. And it's just, I don't think that WWE is going to suffer without Vince. I think it's going to be a sad day for everybody. And it's actually a day that I'm really dreading because reports of his health issues and everything, it just, it's kind of scary. But I just, I don't know. I think Triple H is going to do a good job. I think Stephanie will do a good job. I think the number one thing is they need to get rid of TV writers and hire wrestling writers and not have like 20. I heard there's just like 20 people on the creative staff right now.
Well, they have to have a lot of people on creative staff because they're just going to blow up everything that they've written. So they got to have enough people to be able to write every freaking segment on Raw.
That's what I'm saying though. Like if you creative should be cut down.
I was being facetious, Adam.
I know. It should just be cut down because you can't have so many minds thinking and trying to do stuff unless you give them like certain directions. Like, I don't know. I always wondered how it would be if you gave like a creative writer like a group of wrestlers and like, okay, now you're gonna take these guys and you're gonna write a story for them. and this is how much time you have on Raw. This is how many wrestlers you have. Now go create your story and do what you can. And if they like teamed them up that way, I don't know if it would work better or not. It was just an idea I had. Break up the segments in Raw, break up the time, break up the wrestlers, give them a writer to go to, and then every now and then they kind of like fill out of their time. You shake it up, and new writers get new wrestlers and stuff like that.
That's a long process, and I don't know if that's something they used to do, but
I don't.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say no. Actually, put wrestlers into the creative process of the top people who can, the top 5 people who can actually have input on their character. But you also don't want to run into the trouble where WCW, where wrestlers have creative control, which I know won't happen. But you get a bunch of wrestlers thinking they're armchair bookers like us.
Yeah, that's our job. You guys wrestle, and we get to complain about it.
Exactly. we wouldn't be here if you guys didn't screw up.
Right. So keep screwing up.
You're keeping me in business. But speaking of screwing up, let's segue into the second part and get off these random points and talk about the screw up that is TNA. Do you think, or the topic that we want to discuss is, do you think TNA invading GFW or GFW invading TNA or TNA working with GFW, I don't know the way you want to word it because the whole thing's up in the air in a giant cluster, is good for either company? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, basically, how I would question it is GFW's association with TNA hurting GFW? And
my argument, I'm cutting you off. The fact that we have to ask this is evidence that, yeah, it's kind of hurting them.
Right.
Your thoughts? Continue.
My thoughts is I think TNA has such a bad reputation now over the last, let's say, 5 years, since 2010, that it's, I think any association with them is just horrible. ROH doesn't even acknowledge them. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, yeah. ROH, they finally got a TV deal. They don't even acknowledge you being on the same station as them. They don't even say, hey, sorry for, coming into your TV station. They don't say, looking forward to working with you. They're just like, screw you, TNA, and you guys go play wrestle over there, and we're actually going to put on a show.
I agree. And I think one of the big issues is no one ever went, oh my God, WCW is going to hurt WWF. Or, oh my God, ECW is going to hurt WWF. They're all like, holy fuck, this is going to be awesome. Like, I can't wait to see what happens. This is exciting. WWF bought WCW. And I know you guys are going to be like, oh my God, it's WWE there. But it's going to be really exciting. It was really exciting. Because we thought we were going to get guys like Hogan. We thought we were going to get Nash. All these big name talent, we thought we were going to jump ship and see back in a WWE ring and get super excited. Like, super excited for that possibility. What we got was terrible in considering what we hoped for. But then there's the argument of expectations versus what was promised. And I'm not even going to get into that right now. What we have right now with TNA is every person we were excited to see jump ship and do or whatever, an invasion type thing, however they're going to do it, are gone. Like, I would be super excited to see James Storm do something. I'd be really excited to see Robert Roode do something. Heck, they screwed the pooch on AJ Styles, but I'd love to see them do something with him. But now all we have is Rockstar Spud. And who the hell cares? I don't care.
That's
about
my thing. I was trying to watch TNA. I didn't finish it today, but I had it playing while I was doing some other stuff, and I'm watching the match, and I'm thinking, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, Aries is gone. Last night was his last taped show. Like, he's gone. Storm wrapped up, I guess, at the TV tapings. I thought he was gone after Slammiversary, but I guess he filmed the TV tapings this past time, and now he's gone. Magnus is gone. Brood is still there. EC3 is there. But other than that, who do you have? The Hardys?
Nobody cares about the Hardys anymore. Sorry, Matt.
Right. Yeah, I like Matt Hardy, but I just feel like now you're going to get world title shots. Like, it's like 10 years too late.
It's they're basically just a shadow what they used to be, picking away at the carcass to try to gain some bit of nutrients to be relevant again.
And
But
I hate Jeff Hardy, so he doesn't even count.
no, I mean, if you're face the company can't go overseas, there's no point in having him a face. But that's neither here nor there. The only people I really care about anymore, like you said, EC3, um, MVP, who's been disgruntled since like day 2 in the
He's
company.
gone.
Oh, he's gone
He's
now?
gone. He's gone. The whole
What about
Hernandez situation.
there was some soldier like dude who just fought at the pay-per-view. What was his name?
Melendez, the one leg guy?
No, I think it was like I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it. Um, that's gonna bug me though. Brutus? No, I don't know. We're moving on. There's really nobody on that roster anymore that I care about.
Right. EC3 and Rockstar. But it's like, how much really can Rockstar Spud do? Like, he's talented, but
Oh, the American Wolves are apparently still there, and I kind of miss them. But Bram, there we go. I don't know if he was even actually
Bram,
fully.
yeah,
Is Abyss still there? Like that would be kind of cool. But what has he done lately?
he got lost in the Revolution, which the Revolution got lost. The Revolution was freaking the best thing on TNA, and then they just it fell flat.
The hell is the Revolution?
James Storm took, let's see, Sonata, Manic, Koya, and
Okay, that
Abyss.
sounds terrible.
And
Let's move on. We're done. um. Oh man. So I mean, I think that they're actually ultimately hurting the GFW. They're transferring that stink over to GFW, and I think that's terrible. I don't understand why Jared. I think he only is using them to piggyback off of any success they have to try to get some monetary gain, just so he can get somewhere. And my friend texted me, "Is Drew McIntyre still on the roster?"
yeah,
Oh,
he is.
oh well, then I care about him. But
He's actually going to be a big part of the upcoming shows.
okay, Drew Galloway. My bad. I'm looking at the roster right now.
Yeah, Drew Galloway.
So I mean, there's few people in there, but I mean, what does it matter?
There's not enough to care about.
No.
There's
Apparently,
and like my son is named after Mr. Anderson, but I don't even care to watch him wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
Like TNA did a worse job with him than the WWE did.
I don't know. He had a decent run. At one, I think when he first came in, a little bit after he first came in, because he had all bunch of that almost a rowdy-esque attitude. Where it's just like, I don't really care. Like
he did.
Go on.
But it took him too long to win the world title. Like he should have came in and won the world title right away.
But you can't also give him a rocket strap. TNA can screw up basically anything conceivable. So it's not a surprise it took him so long to win. But I think that from what you said, reports are that they're going to mishandle the invasion. We're not going to give up spoilers. They've already mishandled
I don't know the spoilers.
Okay.
The only spoilers I know are two announced. Well, they're not announced, but two matches that are going to take place at BFG.
So is it speculation?
Which is a surprise.
Already didn't work?
No, they've already been taped, and the storylines going through to. Okay. I guess they've already taped enough to get them to Bound for Glory.
How would that work if they're up in September?
That's the thing. Like I don't know how they're going to film it, but anyways, that's not our issue.
No.
So I know of the two matches, which is sad because only two matches have been built through the TV taping.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Bound from Glory, and from the reports, the only matches that are going to be built throughout the show are two of them. I'm not going to give them away, but it's like seriously.
Come
And
on,
then
Tony. Let's
I
be
don't even know where I was
amateur
going.
stuff
Oh,
at this
okay.
point.
So during these last tapings, they filmed the invasion angle. It's already over.
Okay.
They filmed it during the last taping, and it's done in one set of tapings. This whole thing is done.
So how many tapings do they do per? How many episodes do they do per taping? Just like 2 or 3?
I would think two, like at least two a day, and then they usually film like 2 or 3 days in a row. So it
Heck yeah.
usually takes about 6 weeks.
Through my fourth pen here. Jesus. Kind of ship
Wow.
am I running? I'm taking notes. No pens. So about
But
if they do it in one taping, that's conservative estimate is between 2 to 6 episodes.
about 6 episodes. I would say 6 weeks of TV through a set of tapings.
And what's the payoff? Because GFW doesn't have a
BFG.
deal and TNA is losing their deal. So you're going to have BFG and then ultimately essentially nothing? Is
And
GFW just a
that's been
giant
my
work?
wow.
I mean, that's my big question. Are we just now as fans just being worked and this is some like elaborate NWO garbage?
See, my whole thing is you announced this back in January, or not January, in June. This whole thing started taking place before Slammiversary. But then nothing has happened until now, and we're still not going to see anything. We're now in August, like 2 months later. And it's like, your deal expires in a month.
Do something.
Why were you not trying to build these ratings up? Why was GFW not like get us on TV so we can get a deal somewhere? Why wait till the last possible minute? Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
Because it's
So
TNA.
I think I want to say their thing is up on the 4th, September 4th. The date sounds right to me. I don't know the exact date, but even
Yeah.
so, you have like 4 weeks,
I mean, if they have
3
six
weeks,
weeks of
something like that.
taping, the real question too is, and
They're
it's really
still
not our problem, is what are they going to do then in the void of TNA? Like, what are they going to put there? What original programming do they have? If it's Spike, they're just going to do a rerun of Cops. What is Destination America going to do? And if they have so many weeks until Bound for Glory, is TNA just going to have like a 2 to 4 months gap in between their pay per view and their last aired show? Are fans still going to
air
care
them online
anymore?
or something.
I have no clue because
Air
they're
them on
just
their
going to lose
website.
viewership.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they weren't doing everything they could to boost ratings.
Yeah,
I don't believe they were,
I don't
because
think
the
they
way
care
you boost
anymore.
ratings in wrestling is a great story. You need to build a story that makes me want to tune in and watch. You don't just put two guys in the ring and say go.
I agree. And I think TNA knew that at one point. Hogan came in and just, turned everything upside down, and somehow that got lost in the shuffle. Because TNA
I
knew
feel
how to
like
create a good story. They didn't know how to do a good payoff, but they know how to do a good story. Will make you buy in hook, line, and sinker, waiting to see how you're going to get let down in the end.
because Vince Russo knows how to write stories. That's why.
Yeah,
Like, he could build a good story if given the opportunity.
but Russo killed
And he was the head
GW.
writer.
Fact check it. Don't fact check it. Russo
I
heat.
mean,
Sorry.
he did the Attitude Era. He put great stories together during the Attitude Era, and yes, it was Russo. Like, Vince didn't come up with all that stuff. Like, yeah, he approved stuff, but there had to be something created for him to approve first. Like, so Russo did that. Russo I think he started the beginning of TNA, because him. So Russo was head writer from 2002 to 2010 when Hogan and Bischoff came in, and
Yeah.
that's when TNA was at its best.
Well, I don't know what more we can say without beating a dead horse on this subject. Any more you want to say about GFW?
Oh, okay. So the news story, just one real quick thing. The news story today is that the Invasion Angle ended abruptly, just kind of like came and gone through this one set of TV tapings because Jeff Jarrett and John Gerber couldn't get along. They had different views on how the angle should play out, and they couldn't come to terms. And basically, is probably going to end up in crap TV, like we were all expecting, anyways. And just everything that we've been saying and questioning, it seems like it's coming true. Just again, it just shows the ego that TNA has, not willing to work with people.
I agree. They think they're right. I mean, sometimes that philosophy is correct in their thinking, and sometimes it's others. And I can go into a whole rampage about wrestlers need to worry about their own stock before the company and stuff like that. You need to be your own advocate. But when you have someone like TNA screwing up at every turn, what can you do but collect a paycheck and keep your head down, because there's nothing you're going to do to fix the wrongs. And I think that's what we're seeing right now again with this stupid pseudo invasion angle, that they're going to do it their way, and if you disagree, they'll just nix the whole damn thing. And where does that leave you?
Which is dumb because your way is like TNA. What you're doing right now is not working. So you should be listening to whoever is going to give you advice, whether it be Russo, whether it be Jarrett willing to work with you. Listening, you should shut your mouth and just basically do whatever someone else said. You've done to this point is not working. That's why you were losing 2 TV deals within a year.
I agree. So let's wrap this puppy up. If anybody
All
has
right.
anything else to say on it, feel free to message us, leave comments, or get at us on social media. We're
Yeah.
Perfect Madness.
If you don't know where to find us, you should know where to find us by now if you're watching us. If you've been one of our loyal viewers. But if not, find us facebook.com/Perfect Madness Wrestling, Twitter @PMW Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I think that's about it. Just
Go to
find us
our
somewhere. Perfect
website,
Madness Wrestling, you can find us.
perfectmadness.wordpress.com. And if you honestly don't know how to find us, you, as Adam Eaton clearly states, you're using the internet wrong.
Exactly. And I'm in like 100 wrestling groups. I'm probably in the same one you are. If you're in them, you could find me. Facebook, you can find Jesus Oliver on Facebook. Find us, find Perfect Madness Wrestling. We're always willing to talk. Tell you guys how you're wrong, how you're using the internet wrong.
If you like us, also our videos, podcasts, we're trying to put a lot more onto our YouTube network. So hit subscribe below, or over to the side, or over to that side, or above. I don't know where the subscribe button is, but find it, hit it, follow us. Peace.